Oops, all Amy, everybody. It's Deep Dive Zone, a Sonic review series for fans of all shapes and sizes. I'm your host, Devin, joined as always by my co-hosts, Lauren and Bruce, and today, as previously mentioned last week, we are working through Sonic the Comic, and we have gotten to an entire block of nothing but Amy Rose.
To be fair, that's not entirely a bad thing, because we like this comics Amy.
True. Indeed. And her stories are, well, it's like Sonic the Comic, so it's a bit of this and a bit of that.
Bit of a mixed bag, but it's not terrible.
We're making our beginning here with Snow Business, starring Aaron Flint. On a visit to Angel Island, Amy is trapped in a solitary battle with a Snownick Badnick?
Yeah.
I mean, we're in Ice Cap. There's a lot of Ice Cap Badnicks you could be using.
It's true.
Well, let's not get ahead. At the start here, Freedom Fighters are just messing around there. Yeah, they're in Ice Cap, taking a vacation, basically. And for some reason, Amy is trying to get all kissy, which is always weird when this comic does that, because it doesn't usually.
Yeah, it's always a little weird.
I'm surprised that, because this was still relatively early on, I'm surprised that Knuckles agreed to let them just hang out here having a snowball fight.
Yeah, that's something I was thinking. It's like, Knuckles is just he's just standing there watching.
Maybe he figures, if I can see Sonic get creamed in the face by a snowball, it's worth it.
You know what? That might actually be the case.
Sure.
But yes, Amy tries to kiss Sonic. She says, how about a quick smooch under the mistletoe? There's no damn mistletoe. What are you talking about?
She's holding it in her hand.
She's holding it.
Oh my god, it's teeny tiny. Now I see it.
Oh yeah, it's very small.
Well, anyway, Sonic reacts basically the way he does in the games, by running the fuck away.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, so Amy is left out in the cold, so to speak, and also literally. Looking for more mistletoe, I guess, which is weird, because, who cares? You already have one.
This is a little unclear. It took me a minute to notice as well. But when Sonic dashes off, she drops it, and it flings all the way up on the ledge.
Oh, I see. Wow.
Okay, yeah. I didn't notice that until just now, either.
This mistletoe is it has an aura of not noticing what's going on with it.
Apparently.
But that's also because it doesn't matter, because she actually uncovers a hidden snowbot instead.
Yeah, so as you were saying, it's just a random Snownick. At least this one is semi-Eggman-like.
Yeah,
I could see this possibly being in a game.
This could be a mid-stage mini-boss.
If nothing else, it is at least a robot with a theme, which, sometimes we have flying imp heads or skulls with arms. So,
right.
But yes, he has hand ice lasers that freeze things, including, she tries to make a grab for a crossbow, but he freezes it, so she has to bait him instead.
Yeah, it's
Is this like Iceman's thing where he freezes the ground in front of him to slide?
I mean,
is that a thing Iceman does?
I think he does. I think Iceman does that in one of the Mega Man manga.
I was talking about the X-Men, but okay.
Oh, I was thinking of Mega Man.
I guess they're both Iceman.
They are.
And frankly, I'm thinking of fucking Frozone from The Incredibles. It's just that's not quite typical superhero media. But anyway, yeah, he freezes the ground to slide along the ice to chase her, but then Olay, she lets him fall off the island. We're off a cliff. I guess it's still on Angel Island.
Should have been off the island. That would have made honestly more sense.
I mean, a high enough cliff doesn't really make a difference.
Sure.
But, yeah, she beats the robot, Sonic and Knuckles get back, and then Amy kisses Sonic.
Yeah.
He didn't move her out of the way that time, so does he not care?
I don't know. Johnny told him he was being stupid. I don't know.
It makes it look like he's surprised, so I don't know.
That's true, it does.
It's always weird when something catches Sonic off guard faster than he can move. Anyway, that's that story. Let's move along.
That was certainly a story.
It's very much like the beginning of Sonic the Comic in itself, where it's just random one-offs versus a robot.
Right.
Yeah. I just don't have a ton to add. I guess I can point out that Sonic was caught off guard because Amy intentionally was like, oh no, quick, there's danger, and so he wasn't paying attention.
Oh, so she lied to him so she could kiss him. Don't do that.
Yeah, kids, don't do that.
Alright, moving along. Out for a spin, Stringer and Corona. Amy and Techno's here now, discover a spinning topcraft from Marble Garden and repair it, taking to the sky.
Oh, I didn't
Yeah.
realize. I forgot about these things in Marble Garden.
I recognized it instantly, and I like this. When the writers acknowledge a gimmick and do something with it,
Oh, yeah, now
comics,
that I know what it is,
you don't
that's
see
cool.
that usually because they're
Yeah.
like game mechanics. Like, you
Right.
don't think about it too hard, but okay, sure, why not?
Yeah, now that I realize what it is, that's cool. I thought when the Tekno says, "Look, Amy, what's sticking out of the ground?" My note for that is literally, "It's a rock."
It's not immediately recognizable.
Yeah.
I mean, you
I
asked me, I
completely-
would have said it looks like one of the stone super emeralds, but yeah.
Fair, yeah.
But yeah, and Amy actually brings up that issue when she was in Marble Garden with Sonic, so
Right.
nice little bit of continuity. Probably would have made sense to just mix these in with the main stories to an extent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well. So yeah, they find the spinning top. Techno repairs it, and Techno knows how awkward these things are to control, and so it's like, hey, wait, just take this wrist device to control it instead.
Yeah, I just made you a remote. And it's funny because it's essentially giving Amy a hoverboard, which of course the main series would adopt at various points.
Yeah.
And this is probably a coincidence, but one of Amy's challenge missions in Sonic Generations involves flying around on a top like this in Sky Sanctuary and racing her.
Interesting. Huh.
I'm pretty sure that's not a reference, but it would be funny if it was.
That's definitely a coincidence, but that's a funny coincidence.
Yeah. So hey, now we have 3 flying characters: Tails, Short Fuse, and Amy on a hoverboard.
I mean, this is chronologically, I think, still in the past, and I don't think this is sticking around. As we see,
Yeah.
it won't, because Amy takes it out for a spin, and then encounters a bunch of egg robos, which are making egg puns, which I'm like, what? Egg puns? That's right, those used to be a thing in these comics.
Yeah. The egg ones kind of just disappeared.
Yeah, I don't think I've heard Robotnik give us one of those in a while, even if he's been de-emphasized.
The last one I can think of was a while ago.
Yeah. They want to execute and exterminate. And
I kept
you can,
hearing these guys with Dalek voices.
and me saying exterminate, I still pronounce the me as me because that's how they fucking say it in Doctor Who. So
Of course.
we're all on the same wavelength here. But also,
Yeah.
this is not a thing the egg robos do, but they can turn invisible.
Yeah, where'd that come from?
Well, you see, the writers needed a reason that Amy would be caught off guard, so they just made up a new ability that caught Amy
No.
off guard.
No, you know what? They had precognition because they knew that egg robos were the precursor to the E-series, and even though E100 Alpha Zero doesn't look like an egg robo, even though the rest of the E-series does, his thing is that if Amy hits him in Sonic Adventure 1, he will turn invisible to chase after you, even though you can still see him.
Interesting. Okay.
Clearly that's what happened.
Clearly, it's precognition on the writer's front.
Even though this is from before 3D Blast came out. So anyway...
Wow, there are so many game things that tie into this comic. It's amazing.
So anyway, one of them grabs Amy and pulls her off of the top down to the ground. But they fail to notice the remote, so Amy just steers the top into them to blow them up.
Yep, so much for having it be a permanent upgrade. Oh well.
Yeah, well, I wasn't expecting it to be permanent anyway.
Knuckles will just let you onto the island. Maybe you can steal another one.
It's true. Or actually tell Knuckles about them, and maybe he could utilize
Maybe
them.
just ask for them. No, we always have to deceive Knuckles.
I don't get it.
No, it's like Cosmo said. It's better to be deceived than be a deceiver.
Yeah.
That line is so fucking stupid. Anyway, that's that comic. Fun little side venture. Wish it mattered a little bit more. But let's look here at Deception. Again, Stringer and Pritchett. That's not, again, the last one was someone different. But Stringer and Pritchett, Amy and Tekno are attacked on a hike and stumble into a strange scheme involving aliens and treasure.
Yeah, aliens, apparently. I mean, we see it on the first page, so it's not really jumping ahead. I'm glad that the characters Or like, that's not right, because that's not right.
Yeah, it's like, no way. It can't be that, because we say so. Out of everything in this series, aliens can't possibly be real.
Clearly.
Well, it's just, we haven't... I'm trying to think about this. At least not randomly, with no build-up in these comics.
Yeah. There would actually be context.
Yeah, so we're hiking in Rocky Valley Zone. I didn't give a rating to that one. Let's call it a... I feel like I'm biased towards like 5s and 6s because I have no opinion on most of these, if I'm honest.
It's just become a running gag. It's got to be done.
It's at least a 6 out of 10. That sounds like something you could get in a game.
I would say it's a 6 or 7.
Fine, I'll give it a... You know what, I'll be nice. I'll give it a 7. Anyway,
Okay.
they're hiking and they get attacked by space aliens with laser guns hiding in a cave. It's a very, very traditional green bug-eyed men.
Yeah, they're very much the little green men. The not so little green men, actually.
Yeah, they're kind of fat asses.
Yeah.
We're already in a strange bout of danger, but Tekno has a solution, which is a drill?
Real. Yeah, she acts like it's a big deal, but like, I guess it's a boring machine, so it's meant for digging holes that are like large.
I guess, but yeah, we're pinned down by these aliens, and we have to be able to sneak in behind them. So naturally, we'll use a giant drill that has to be incredibly loud to dig a tunnel to get in the back.
That's a good point. Yeah.
No, people don't recognize voices. They also don't hear loud sounds in these comics.
Ah, yes, of course.
It's Mr. Quiet!
Yeah, so they do that, and they don't notice, but they get into the cave, and they discover that the aliens' crashed UFO is made out of paper mache.
Uh-uh.
And also, there's a box of gold jewelry, so that's something. And, well, the dudes come in and immediately unmask to reveal they're not aliens, they're just dudes in masks. They found this treasure box and have been slowly selling pieces of it bit by bit to try and keep a low profile, which makes the alien gambit to scare off outsiders kind of dumb, because if they think you're alien, somebody's going to tell somebody.
Right. The alien gambit makes no sense.
Okay, so first of all, yes, that's true. Like, why did they choose that of all things? Couldn't they have just, like, transport the treasure in secret or something? That seems better. I mean, it's probably heavy, but I mean, it's not a huge box. They could have figured something out. Second of all, there isn't any mention of, like, oh, this is a particular treasure. It's just treasure. So, like, why do they have to be cautious about selling it?
Yeah, it's not like they need a money laundering scheme like this is stolen. They found this, and nobody seems to know where it comes from.
Yeah.
Right.
Except Amy, potentially, because Amy says, oh, dudes, this isn't real gold. It's a movie prop. Which, have they already been selling this? Because if that's true, then who cares?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, really, yeah, because if they've already been successfully selling this, then that means the people they're selling it to might just be idiots.
Yeah.
Or
Which means
also
it
don't care.
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But this gets them mad anyway. And so they blame each other and try to shoot each other with laser guns. One dude jumps on the other, and the other dude fires first shot.
These people are insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that causes a cave-in, so they all have to run out of there so that they don't die to rocks. And, well, it's very funny because before, Amy had this kind of cadence where it's like, oh, you know, they're selling this stuff, kind of exploiting people for cash. You know, oh, you guys, you're selling fake gold. Amy doesn't have a problem exploiting people for cash. Because after the dudes leave, she's like, hey, Tekno, you got another drill? Because I completely made the fuck up that line about it being a movie prop.
Jesus Christ, Amy.
So Amy does say that they're going to give it to the local residents, which apparently that's supposed to be the right thing, I guess. I don't know how that works exactly, but sure, fine.
These guys are some of the local residents. I mean, I guess they'd get less, but... Yeah, I don't know. This is a weird thing. This is something I'd expect out of like Sonic Boom, maybe. This is a little more questionable than I expect out of like nice Sonic comic gaming, but whatever. It was certainly a twist. I didn't see it coming.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's that one. It was funny. It was fine.
Yeah,
But,
it was.
You know,
wasn't
they should never have
offensive.
dressed up like aliens. This comic could never have aliens in it.
I'm just saying aliens that crash landed and just are suddenly there with
Yeah.
no build up. That's my point.
I know, I'm being facetious. But moving swiftly along to Out of Work Heroes, Stringer and Corona, the Freedom Team fishes an old friend out of some lava, but he struggles to readjust to the world he finds himself in. So, yes indeed, we begin at Lava Lock Zone. I'm gonna give that an 8 out of 10 for weird. Why do we just have a lake of magma?
It's a volcano.
Well, it's a very video game thing. Of course,
Do they
Yeah,
say it's a
there's like
volcano?
magma.
I think it's just a lake of lava.
Well, it's from a volcano.
Yeah. But, we're around some lava rocks, and, Tekno is detecting something is alive inside one of them.
It's shaped kind of like a certain someone.
Yes. So, we break open this rock to reveal short fuses inside.
Wow. Okay.
We were wondering where he went.
I didn't expect him to just be randomly encased in cooled magma, but okay.
Yeah, this does feel a little on the what the fuck side.
It's very
Well-
funny because Short Fuse has been gone for a long time on the Sonic side,
Mm-hmm.
and then we get through the Amy side, and we went all the way from the start of the series up to now, where we're basically present day.
Mm.
And yes, apparently, months ago, Short Fuse was flying over this lava ocean that exists, and just fell in and got trapped there.
Yep. Well, he got hit by the EMP,
Okay, wait a second. So
I think, right?
that
Did they
is
say that?
what
That would make sense.
He says armor cut power. I think it's supposed to be implied. that he
Okay,
got hit by
yeah,
the
Techno
EMP.
says it was the EMP, okay.
Tekno
Oh, yeah,
says
Tekno
it was
has
the EMP, but there's a problem, which is that we will see in a minute here obvious evidence because he just flies off that Short Fuse's systems are still working fine, and also he's like, oh yeah, my life support systems kept me alive, and in the meantime, so like, did the EMP affect them or not?
Well,
Y-
he does say that he had to wait for his power to fully come back. I don't get why he just stood there to let the lava harden around him.
Yeah, that
Well,
also
he
doesn't
couldn't
make any
move,
sense.
because that was the same thing that happened to Vermin.
Well, he crawled out of the lava. I don't get why he just
Oh, you're right.
then just stood there and waited for the lava to harden.
Maybe he's just strong
like,
enough
get
to
the lava
overpower
off.
the armor and Vermin isn't.
Maybe he's just stupid.
Probably.
Yeah.
I hate to say.
In any case, this serves as a big moment of irony for him, which I do like, which is that they beat Robotnik without him, even though he was the most bitter about the whole thing.
Yeah, and then he gets bitter about them beating Robotnik.
Yeah.
Of course
I mean, I'm
he
not
is. He's
surprised
not
he
like,
is.
wow, Robotnik is beaten. That's great. He's like,
He's like, God damn it, you
Worse
killed
and worse.
him. Or,
Yeah.
excuse me, I wanted to kill him.
yeah, that's the problem. Well, I mean, maybe eventually, but remember, this is the guy who's like, I don't want to beat Robotnik. So actually, I feel like he wouldn't have beaten him for good. He would have been like, yeah, that's enough. Actually, let's not like beat him outright.
Oh, let's let him.
Yeah, because his whole
stick
thing was,
around
I
for
want
a
him to
little
suffer.
Right.
So it could be both that he wasn't like if Robotnik was going to be defeated, he would have wanted to be involved, but he's probably double angry because he didn't want him to even be outright defeated.
Yeah.
Because now is what is he going to do?
And that's what we see is that, you know, and this is interesting because it's basically the thing we've been complaining about with this character, which is that he had no life outside of vengeance and brooding, and
So now we actually get to see that.
he has to reacclimate himself to domestic existence, and he can't do any of this shit. He's trying to sell stuff. He's trying to be a fry cook, and he can't do it.
I'm honestly surprised that he tries as many jobs as he does.
I mean, it's 3?
But still, I would expect him to storm off after one, really.
Oh yeah, I would have expected him to just give up after the first one.
He's really trying. It's the most effort he's ever put into something.
It seems like it.
It really does.
But he's gone from bitter to just sad. He doesn't know what he can do. There's just no room in this world for a warrior. So clearly, a different world needs him. A portal opens up with, oh my god, there's aliens in this comic now.
Okay, wait, this doesn't count though, because this is just like the dimension doorway to the Nameless Zone.
That's true.
Which is a thing that's been pre-established. They don't just, it's not just crash-landed and they're like, oh, hey, why don't you just come in our ship or something? No,
right.
this is an established mechanic. This dimension doorway is just open in this comic.
Maybe. I guess. I don't know.
It is still sudden, though, and the weirdest part is that Short Fuse goes in and starts fighting, and that's it. That's it. It's the end of the comic. Guess we don't get to see what happens next.
Damn.
Yeah, and I might add, they're asking for Sonic. He's just like, no, I'll do it.
Or he just really needs to kill.
I sure hope that these are the good guys he's fighting for. You don't necessarily know that they are.
That's true.
They're probably only asking for Sonic because they know he's strong. But it looks like he's fighting robots in this final panel, so...
Mm-hmm.
All robots are evil.
If you assume that in this comic, you're not gonna be correct, but you'll definitely get far.
We never saw what happened to that kid's, what was it, Smokey's Badnik?
Oh, yeah.
He seemed good.
Yeah. Well, and we had Cog the Mighty last time. Are you gonna forsake the good graces of Cog the Mighty?
That's true.
Anyway, that's Short Fuse is gonna be fighting an alien war for a while. So let's move swiftly along to our next story. Spot of Bother, Stringer and Corona. Amy and Tekno get wrapped up in the affairs of Norris Wimple, a badnik enthusiast with an apparent death wish.
So, before we get into this actual story, I made a note here, because this is when I first noticed it. Amy's symbol on their shirt changes a lot in these comics.
Her entire outfit's changing.
Yeah, I guess...
To an extent, at least.
That's true.
She's been going between a skirt and pants. Mostly pants so far. But, yeah, she has a different... a shirt on, usually.
She went through 2 outfits in just the last story, because at the start she had the black shirt with a smiley face and a green skirt.
Yeah.
At the end she had, I don't know if that's like an onk or something, and like
it's an onk
pants.
and like purple cargo pants, yeah.
And now she's got cross and beige cargo pants.
Yeah, she's really dressed like a 90s teenage boy.
This is something that's like, it's me punching outside of my range, and not punching, but just, I guess, batting outside of my range. But people have noted that they kind of butch Amy up a little bit over the course of these.
Yeah, I can already kind of see that. It feels like...
And I'm not just saying that because of the Amy Tekno ship. It's just they give her a very different aesthetic for her outfits, where she's very, hyper feminine all the time in the games.
No, I've definitely noticed that. At first, she was kind of just action girl, but the term butch is... I'm not a big fan of it, but it's also not a bad description.
It's just, it's... I don't know shit about female aesthetics, and butch is typically associated with, like, lesbians, which is obviously not me, but... Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, on to the story. We're fighting some badniks. They are Flicky badniks. You can see they're coming from Flicky's Island, so we have rapidly progressed the timeline.
Yep.
Yeah.
But this nerd guy here is trying to get a look at them with goggles, and yes, this guy is the guy from the first Wendy Wallace story that I couldn't remember the name of.
Oh yeah, I was about to say, I'm pretty sure we've seen him before.
Yeah, but Badnik attacks. Tekno has... What is this blaster? It looks like it's got, like, green liquid in it, but maybe that's a laser?
It looks like it's like... I swear we've seen Tekno use something like this before.
I don't recognize it. Maybe,
or maybe I'm thinking of something else, but I don't know. I've seen something like this recently.
I'm sure that she's used some kind of laser weapon at some point.
Yeah, these comics are very good at weird guns.
Yeah.
Indeed. But, yes, Nerd Boy was right in the way of all this, and he gets angry that they killed the Badnik, that it was trying to kill him, because he's a bird watcher for badniks. He's a badnik watcher.
That's right. He's got a fascinating hobby. He's got to collect serial numbers from badniks And for a minute, I almost believed they had serial numbers because it seemed like a silly thing these comics would do. But no, they don't actually. He just makes up the serial numbers. So, like, this is a nothing hobby.
Right.
This is just a dude with way too much time on his hands that doesn't know how to occupy himself.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, in part, I look at Norris and I think, is this us? Because we're always talking about Badnik designs. We love the machines and robots in this series
Okay,
so
yeah,
much.
but, like, we aren't going out of our way to risk our lives to look at them.
Yes, I suppose the equivalent of this would be like someone that goes into like war zones because he wants to see what foreign weapons are like.
Which is something that does exist.
I guess war tourism. It's such a stupid fucking.
Yep, war tourism. It's a stupid idea. I don't understand it.
Anyway, he gets mad that they're disrupting his hobby. That's not a real hobby. That is So he has a goddamn Sonic suit to wear to bait more badniks out.
I mean, hey, if you're gonna be a Badnik watcher, you gotta know how to do it, I guess. That's real dedication.
Yeah,
This guy's kind of insane.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Tekno apparently hasn't been around all the times. Well, I mean, that's true. They haven't been around all the times. It was apparent that badniks are incredibly terrible at identifying people and thinks, don't worry about them. That disguise will never fool a badnik. No, of course it does.
Of course.
oh yeah, no worries about badniks falling for that. That is incredibly consistent.
Yeah.
So yes, a badnik does show up to capture him, but then he gets scared. Amy shoots it with her good old crossbow, and now he's not into badniks anymore. Now he's into sports metrics.
So he's still a nerd.
Well, he still doesn't have to stop being a nerd.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's just part of who you are. But
That's true.
That's the end of that. Or it would be, because that is the end of that story, but the next story is basically a direct follow-up to it.
Yeah.
This is Starstruck, Stringer and Flint. Amy and Tekno find themselves the reluctant bodyguards of singer sensation Fabian Vane, but something fishy is going on with the so-called superstar. And, yeah, that doesn't sound related, but Norris gave the girls tickets to see Fabian Vane in concert with him.
And they just had to go because it would be rude to refuse a gift, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. And, instantly the battle line's now been drawn because Sonic Boom Amy is instantly taken with popular boy singers, but this Amy thinks it's fucking stupid.
That's true, yeah.
I mean, this is also an especially stupid singer. I mean, look at those song lyrics.
Well, yeah, she just thinks he's bad. That doesn't
Actually, wait, the
mean,
Justin Bieber parody in Sonic Boom, he was hypnotizing people, wasn't he?
I don't know. I never watched that episode.
I don't remember. I'm pretty sure he was hypnotizing people, so maybe I'm wrong.
mean, it's likely true, knowing that show.
Anyway.
Also, to be fair to
Norris...
Amy, she just thinks he's dumb, not like all of them.
Yeah. Also, Norris throws his shirt up on stage. Is that a gay joke?
It might be, actually.
All of the other people in the crowd seem to be women. Maybe there's a couple men, I'm not sure.
I think it's mostly women.
Either way, some hippo guy runs on stage to try and attack Vane.
Good.
Yeah, it's like, if he's just doing it because he hates the music, I get it.
That's fair, yeah.
But, Amy Tekno jump up on stage and tackle him to the ground.
I don't know why they feel the need to do this. It's like, why are you helping this guy?
Well, where's his real bodyguards?
I mean...
That's also true.
Okay, that is a good question. But I mean, I don't find it unreasonable that if someone's going to assault somebody that they wouldn't jump in. I mean...
No, I guess so. I don't know.
Well, and my thing is just that these are two teenage girls, and he appears to be a 6-foot-tall adult, but they can tackle him to the ground with no trouble. I guess they grab onto his feet, so that trips him, maybe?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know how to judge the strength as part of this, because, like, Amy in the games is clearly really strong. Amy in these comics has mostly relied on, shooting things. So.
Right.
Regardless, they take him down, and the manager of Vane comes out on stage and says, "Sorry, his creative flow has been disrupted. Now the concert's canceled."
That sounds about right, to be honest.
I mean, I don't know shit about like musicians and concerts. I guess that would happen is that if somebody tried to physically attack you on stage, you would probably get razzled enough that you wouldn't want to keep going. Maybe.
Oh well, I've
doesn't
heard that
sound
exact reason being given for why musicians just stop a show.
Yeah, I guess it depends on who you get, because there's definitely at least a couple of guys that have been like shot during a performance and continued.
Yeah, Teddy Roosevelt was.
Yeah, I
He
mean
wasn't
that's
a
just
singer,
the way
but-
some people. Yeah, some people roll that way, but like Tekno is like, what a wimp. But it doesn't seem that unreasonable to me, honestly.
No, I don't really blame Vane for that. No,
Yeah.
there's better things to blame him for later on, because he does take them backstage, and he's like, "Hey, you girls should be my bodyguards."
Okay, so
That is-
I really do think it's reasonable to stop someone right in front of them that's going to attack somebody else, but like, no, this is not why. Why would they accept this?
Well, it's not for me. It's not a question of why would they do it, because they are the heroes and they are freedom fighters and they do fight stuff. My question is, why would they not question this offer? You know, they should be asking why would nobody else do that? You know, and there is a reason.
We will learn soon enough.
So, but yes, like Lauren says, they are surprisingly quick to agree to this, and well, they wonder why so many people are after this guy as a literal angry mob of them breaks into his house and chases them out of his garage.
They're definitely suspicious after this. I have to imagine that they were suspicious already, and that's why they went along with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they drive the car out of there, their hover car, and we're gonna investigate what the heck is going on. So naturally, we cut to a celebrity talk show.
Investigating.
He's given his interviews with his gigantic platform shoes.
I just want to mention how much I fucking hate his shoes.
I hate looking at this guy. I
just hate him in general, yeah, but his shoes especially.
It should be clear at this point that he's deceptive, but they really make him look deceptive too. He looks greasy.
Yeah.
But you know, you gotta connect with the fans. You gotta take some calls, and oh hey, the same guy from before calls in to threaten him.
I love that he says he wants to pull his head off. That's such a powerful threat.
It's good, yeah. Also, his name is Bruiser Magoon. I didn't write that down, but that's a great name.
That is an amazing name.
But, you know, this is what Amy and Tekno were hired for, so they wait outside to beat up Bruiser Magoon. And they do. They smash his head between some fence bars so he can't get out. But the secret come out, which is Bruiser, while he's here, explains that, yeah, you know how he didn't have a bodyguard? That's because I'm the bodyguard. Or I used to be.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
Shocking. And yes, we cut back inside to Amy and Tekno escorting Bruiser Magoon right to the so-called superstar.
With the fence still around his neck.
Yes, which is hilarious. They couldn't get him out. I guess they didn't have any butter on hand.
So they just cut the fence instead.
That is the perfect, like, one of my problems is that I don't dislike Tekno as a character at all, but she is very modestly characterized, but I think that would be a great trait to give her, is that, like, she wouldn't think to, like, lubricate the bars or something, get his head out, but she would have, like, a laser cutter to just cut the bars.
Yeah, she has a fucking laser welder to just...
Yeah. So, Fabian tries to run out of there, but they trip him with the microphone cord and he falls down. Which, frankly, I think those stupid shoes should have done him in to begin with.
Honestly, yeah.
But, yes, as it turns out, Fabian Vane is a huge thief. He has been getting work done from various people and then just not paying them.
Kind of a believable setup, actually.
Yeah, that's totally believable, honestly.
All these people trying to hunt him down were just trying to get their fucking money.
Fair enough, honestly.
His look, his fans, his everything is all... It's all just taken on good faith and favors because Mobians are more trusting than humans? I don't know.
Pay you with exposure.
Yeah. I guess, it's one of those, like, you tell enough lies and you can lie to the whole... I don't know what I'm referencing here. I don't have anything.
Okay.
But yeah,
It's definitely not that deep. He simply didn't want to pay anyone and was popular because he was nothing but a fad. Because he's like,
Yeah.
it's fine. I may have lost a bunch of money actually paying people, but I still have my fans. It's like, nah, you're old news now.
Yeah.
he
Look at
got
this
Tommy
guy that-
Tallarico'd.
Look at this guy named Android?
Yeah,
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah, so he loses all his money, and Peter Android is the hot favorite now.
Yeah, I guess
Maybe
he's popular
he
'cause
actually
just
writes
walks
his
around
music.
without a shirt on.
And yeah, Fabian is stuck being a DJ at some club, and nobody likes him. And good.
Yeah.
So that's that story. When you lie to the world will eventually find out, unless you die and ruin the evidence. But if you don't die, there's always a chance for them to find out. Anyway, this is a weird conclusion to that. Let's move along to Spaced Out, Stringer and Corona. In an attempt to locate their missing friend Shortfuse, Amy and Tekno are accidentally teleported directly into the middle of an alien war. And, it is funny, thinking about that we went from Shortfuse not appearing in Sonic comics to Shortfuse coming back to Shortfuse being gone again immediately afterward.
Yeah, it was interesting that they introduce him just to unintroduce him.
At a certain point when I was recording notes for these, I thought, is he going to be, like, stuck? Like, I knew he was going to show up in this story because they're talking about him.
Sure.
But is he going to not even appear in the main Sonic stories after this? And he does, but I wasn't sure.
I'm guessing it probably isn't very often anymore.
Yeah. And funnily enough, they're not even talking about Shortfuse to begin with. They're talking about Johnny, because apparently Johnny hasn't been around for a while. I'm not sure I really noticed that.
I think I looked back and thought, like, yeah, maybe he hasn't, but I didn't really, like, physically look back.
It's a thing, because the Sonic side has been kind of non-stop with the Dracon Empire stuff and with random filler stories. So, like, yeah, Johnny hasn't been in those, but I didn't really expect him to be in them.
Yeah.
And either way, he's just been visiting his family, so I don't know what difference it makes.
I do like to joke that rabbits have a lot of relatives.
Yeah, that's... You kind of see that. It's funny that the Archie comics never did a joke to that, because Bunny doesn't have any fucking family.
True.
Or, well, she does, but only in the Flynn era.
Oh, okay.
Even then, it's still not a lot, though. But regardless, that's not what this comic is about. This comic is about trying to find Shortfuse. We have a special machine that will tell us Shortfuse's location. Allegedly, it will. That's not what it ends up doing.
That's a good point. It doesn't really.
Tekno continues the legacy of Dr. Kintober by not understanding her own technology.
I mean, that's just kind of a trope. Yeah, I thought there was going to be an explanation for it at some point, but in retrospect, there isn't actually ever an explanation. It just kind of malfunctions.
It's true.
Yeah.
It doesn't really explain why it malfunctioned. It just does.
Well, it's weird because they talk about this machine like, oh, we should be able to locate him if we target the circuits in his armor. And sure, why not? And it shows a hologram of Shortfuse. Sure, why not?
Sure.
But then, yeah, it starts sparking, and we just get teleported.
And Johnny's reaction to this, of course, is, darn! I wish I got to go on a good adventure just like them.
To be fair, I kind of wish Johnny had gone with them too, because more characters is generally more fun.
And as we've established, he's still the least developed of the main heroes.
Yeah.
But, yes, they have been teleported and end up on a spaceship.
More aliens.
Yeah, lots of aliens. They are on a spaceship of the Insectra Empire and have some soldiers running down the hall at them. Is that a lightsaber or just a green baton?
I'm going to say lightsaber for something we'll see shortly.
Yeah.
But these guys are actually no match for them. It's not that big a deal.
A bunch of heads.
Yeah, but they're saying, the destroyer will work. Oh, the destroyer, screw it. The soldiers were no problem. Oh, the destroyer is Shortfuse.
Damn, bro left to go to war and immediately got captured and turned into, and brainwashed.
Yeah, they put
That's
green
pretty
on him, so
cringe.
it's
Oh,
bad.
that's true. That's pretty cringe, though.
I just realized Robotnik swore that, Shortfields will be turned against their friends once again, but these random aliens beat them to the punch on that threat.
True.
You're right.
They did.
I never thought about that.
Interesting. Yeah.
But Amy points out, hey, there's a weird growth on his stomach, so let's just get rid of that.
Smart.
Yep.
But unfortunately, say goodbye to the crossbow. Oh no, it's going to be gone forever because Shortfuse blows it up. It's not going to be gone forever.
I was about to say,
Amy,
if
Amy
actually
loses
gone
access to that crossbow a lot in these comics.
kind of annoying when it's like her main method of fighting.
I think
Yeah, it would be
it's
useful if they could just
it's
pull
a
out more.
really
like,
powerful
with hammers.
crossbow.
It is.
True.
I think,
Sometimes it seems more like a gun, but
yeah, I think it would have benefited to maybe have her have the crossbow and the hammer, because then you can mix and match depending on the situation. You can take away whatever weapon is more convenient.
well, it'd also just be nice for her to have the hammer also, because that's part of Amy's look.
Yeah. But, yes, Shortfuse destroys it and introduces Dark Visor.
This is why
such
we
a
figure it's
blatant
like yeah,
reference.
this is very like blatant.
Do you know what year Spaceballs came out?
I was just thinking Spaceballs.
Because the fact that he's
Not
called Dark
87.
Visor gives me more Lord
Yeah.
Helmet vibes than Darth
Yeah,
Vader.
it's more Dark Helmet than Darth Vader. He looks more like Dark Helmet also. Spaceballs was 87, so...
Okay, so this was definitely after that, so... Maybe it's
Likely.
just... It's like, the
This
thing
might-
is, though, it's like, there's
This might be
already
both,
Star
to be
Wars
honest.
parodies, so basically anybody
Sure.
could have done that.
Sure, but he looks more like Dark Helmet.
I think he could be a... I'm thinking
could-
about, like, Fairly Odd Parents has Dark Laser as well, so...
Okay, yeah, but like... I don't know.
Anyway,
I want to believe it's Spaceballs.
Anyway, he's leading Galactic Conquest. That's what's important. And here's a question. How did Shortfuse go from who he was with before to these guys? Because these aren't the guys that asked for his help.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, we're just never going to get an explanation on that.
My guess would be he helped win the war between the green guys and those robots they were fighting, and then looked for other fights, and then just ran into these guys, maybe?
I mean, that's all you can assume with the no information we have.
Yeah, I suppose. But, yes, Visor introduces himself, his Galactic Conquest, and they also introduced that they are at war with the Blurg, who are named that. And, it's all been going on longer than anyone remember. It's a very...
The Eternal War.
But, while all this is happening, Tekno goes to rip the thingy off of Shortfuse, gets shot at, but then dodges so it hits the thingy instead. The Controlla-Crawly, as Visor calls it.
I didn't even see him give it a name.
Yeah.
It's just a little blob.
It's weird because the Crawley just walks away and like they just leave it there, and I'm just like, wait, if it just kind of walks around and apparently isn't a threat, how did it even get Shortfuse in the first place?
I mean, they
Maybe
could have
they
restrained
got
him and
him-
put it on him.
Yeah.
Restrain this guy? Really? I find that unlikely.
I mean-
I admit, Visor,
Motivation.
he's a very scrawny Darth Vader, isn't he?
Yeah, but he could probably just dump like a bunch of guys on Shorty to hold him down.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, we'll never know how well he can really hold out because immediately the ship gets attacked by another ship.
By the
Yeah. I was so ready for Shorty to clean house, but the Blurg attack, sending the Insector ship plummeting down to a nearby planet.
Man, their ship sucks.
And it's a long war.
Yeah.
Everyone is okay, but the Blurg ship is touching down right next to them on this planet. It's like everybody gets out and they barely have time to argue before the Blurg show up. And
Well, they're here to finish this because
Well,
I guess the entire
finish.
Insectra army is just here, or maybe Dark Visor is the commander, and so that they would just like
Yeah, if they capture the commander, they
Yeah.
can probably finish the war.
yeah, he is the
but,
Supreme Commander, but
They're here to quote unquote finish.
we'll get to it. And yes, the Blurg are jelly blob dudes in, like, Space Marine armor
They do look kind of like Space Marines.
They kind of have a Warhammer thing going on. I was saying it before.
This is an English comic.
Warhammer's English?
Yeah, Games Workshop is a British company.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So I don't know shit about Warhammer, just that you and Matt like it. Regardless, they introduced the commander, whose name is Jello Wobbla. That's a great name.
That is a wonderful name.
And, yes, they are allegedly here to end the war. But then they're like, well, if we do that, you know, us as Supreme Commanders, we would have less personal benefits. You know, we get to wield a lot of power in this. Should we actually be doing this?
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like that. That's amusing.
I like that.
It's a good kind
It's
of
interesting. Yeah. It's interesting though that the soldier behind the jelly people commander looks very unamused by this decision, which foreshadows something that's going to happen in a minute here as they try to then re-engage in battle. But wait, the weapons? Is there something wrong?
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, them deciding to not actually end the war. Maybe that's why it's been going on for so many generations.
Oh, yeah.
But yes, the natives of this planet intervene. They are peace-loving, floating elephant trunk shaman things.
They're like tapirs.
Except not. But,
I mean, not really, actually, yeah.
They're called the Calm Darn. Calm Down.
Calm Down?
Yeah, it's a joke on that. They,
Okay. I thought
they're big peace buffs.
Where they can, well, we'll see in a sec.
Yeah, and it's funny because, like, peace is good, wars are forbidden here. And the Blurgan and Sector are like, alright, Temporary Alliance, we gotta destroy this hippie scum. I won't be hearing that shit. But yes, as Lauren mentioned, their weapons are not working. There's some kind of anti-weapon energy field here.
Yeah.
And hey, perfect. We have a bunch of heroes here that don't need guns. Allegedly?
I mean, Tekno maybe. Amy, we've seen her fight hand-to-hand before.
A little bit, but I don't know. It's weird, because, like, Short Fuse, fine, you know, do whatever with him. Amy and Tekno, you know, both of them...
We've definitely seen Amy fight hand-to-hand. Tekno, though, I don't think... We've barely seen Tekno fight.
Yeah, so, I don't know. But, regardless, with nothing to fight with, the Blurgan and Sector are like, nope, that's it, we lose. They don't even try.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, so, as I was saying, it's actually the soldiers that give up, not the commanders.
That's true. The soldiers
Pfizer is like, wait, no, you have to keep fighting anyway, it's tradition. But no, their armies just give up.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Were it that easy, but yeah, fair enough. They do just dump all their weapons in a big pile. And, yeah, now we have peace talks between the Blurgan and the Insectra, and, they just agree to live here?
Apparently.
Like, the war's over, but they're not going home.
These natives are pretty chill. They're just like, that's fine. No worries.
Right. Friggin' Jello Wobbla on this page wearing his Sunday, relaxation outfit. He looks like Patrick Starr now. So, yeah, the war's over, but they're not going home. And, hey, guess who else isn't going home? Yeah,
I really wouldn't have guessed, actually.
I wasn't saying it like it was rhetorical, but yeah. Short Fuse says, this planet's anti-weapon energy might be able to free me from my cybernetic armor, so I'm gonna wait a bit before I come home.
Yeah, fair enough, honestly.
I mean, this is surprising to me.
It is surprising.
Short Fuse has made a point multiple times that, no, they prefer being in their armor. I guess, finally, after a while of being like, well, I guess there's not like a never-ending conflict anymore.
Right.
Maybe I should give up my whole cringe brooding side and, you know, try to go back to some amount of normalcy. It seems, I didn't expect it.
I mean, the whole thing in this comic is that, like, everybody is clearly tired of their forever war, and maybe that's meant to play into it to some extent with short fuse. It's just that I think that if you're gonna do a story like that, that needs to be his story, and this hasn't been his story. It's been Amy and Techno's.
Yeah, they didn't really foreshadow this at all, is the thing.
Yeah,
Other than, I guess, trying to fit in. And, yeah, lasting consequences, too. Like, on multiple fronts, not only we're leaving short fuse in space, but Amy and Techno don't have a way back.
Right.
yes, they're gonna have to set out for home alone on the road into the sky here. I'm not sure what's going on with that, but yeah.
That's just a bridge they're standing on.
But you know what? Cool. Serialize more stuff.
Yeah.
And, well, we'll see where that goes here in Earthbound, Stringer and Corona. No, it is not an adaptation of the SNES game Earthbound.
Damn.
Instead, it's something arguably more interesting. On their way home from the space war, Amy and Techno stop on a surprisingly familiar planet for directions.
Hmm.
So, we got a flying saucer, and we've allegedly got a map, but we got lost anyway. So they stopped to look for directions. Hey, that planet looks nice.
It also looks familiar.
Yes, indeed. And there's some Einstein-looking motherfucker watching them enter the atmosphere.
Einstein-looking motherfucker. Okay.
Yep, and they correctly identify that this is, in fact, Earth. Which, if you had not reminded me earlier off mic, I would not have remembered that this comic established that Earth is in the same position as Mobius, but in a different dimension. This means that they were lost because they were actually on the right track. They're just in the wrong dimension.
Yeah, they're in a separate dimension, which is an interesting idea.
And, you know, this is funny because, you know, from Sonic X to the Sonic movies to the brief period of the Sonic games where they wanted two worlds to be a thing, and I'm glad that they didn't do that. This is the most that we've ever had developed of Earth and Mobius as separate but equal locations. Because in most stuff, Mobius is just either another word for Earth or a future Earth. Or you have Sonic X, where you have Earth and then you have nameless Sonic World that they never bother doing anything with. Or you have the movies where every planet is different and everybody's from a different planet and they just kind of show up on Earth because that's the place to show up.
Right.
Or the games where you may as well not know that they were ever trying to make it a thing, and good, because again, they shouldn't. So, good on you guys for making an actual comic where Earth is an established place.
Yeah.
Anywho, Dr. Coomer here, this scientist, no, his name is Professor Cratermass. He's very excited to meet aliens. He's working on an interplanetary teleportation system.
Yeah, there's a subtle thing here at the start, and we get more hints about this later. But when he first walks up to Amy and Techno, he's like talking slowly in the way in fiction that you do when you're trying to talk to someone who doesn't speak your language, which that wouldn't help. But he's clearly surprised that they just speak, I guess, English, unless this is some fantasy language.
Or it's some sort of universal translator, I guess.
Neither. It is English.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's interesting. Like, that's not just like... It's not just like, you know, in some things where everyone speaks the same language. Like, apparently that's supposed to be weird.
Yeah. Now, I don't know how English as a language independently, you know, completely coincidentally developed exactly the same in both universes, but they clearly are not asking you to think about that.
Do not be frightened. We mean you no harm.
You speak English.
I am actually speaking right Chilean. By an astonishing coincidence, both of our languages are exactly the same.
Well, I'm thinking about it, even so, and you can't stop me.
Well, you can think about it as much as you want. That's okay.
Yeah, and this is English because this is England, because these military men are on high alert, and I think these are British military uniforms to begin with, but we also... I know for a fact that they're stationed in London.
Okay. I was wondering if they were supposed to be, like, British or Americans or something. I figured probably British, being a British comic.
Yeah.
The thing is, they also mention, like, oh, I'm a hedgehog, and he's like, a hedgehog? That's what a hedgehog looks like in my world. So, like, obviously, these are somehow related, these two planets. I mean, they're in the same position in two separate universes. It's like, it seems like the two universes are somewhat there's got to be some link between them, even though they're vastly different, and so that somehow explains the language. I don't know. I'll keep looking for more hints on that.
Yeah, that I get why the impulse to do a joke like that. It always bothers me because Sonic World always has non-anthropomorphized animals anyway. But
That's true.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be annoyed at the Sonic X comics for that. But anyway, the government is here without a warrant to harass and kidnap people because that's a thing that happens. We're getting a look at the interdimensional transporter machine, but military men bust down the door. Rah! And yes, we see Colonel Granite here. He's basically the dude from the Iron Giant. He just assumes that everything is a secret plot by foreign countries to destroy the country.
Yeah, or in this case, foreigners from off planet, as it were. He insists that they're here to invade.
Yeah, to destroy the beautiful nation of Earth, I guess. So they get captured and put into solitary confinement, and I guess they just leave the. Okay, no, they leave the professor outside the cell because he's just some guy, but they were interrogating him. But thankfully, Colonel Granite here didn't consider the prospect of a canary with explosive earrings. Probably because birds don't have ears.
Including seemingly Tekno, because they just seem to,
Yeah, they just...
connect to the side of her head.
Yeah. So,
birds don't have earrings,
Right.
but wings are a thing that they have, and yet Tekno doesn't care about wings. They
She
fly
just
anyway,
flies.
and they even point out that fact, which I didn't expect.
yeah,
No,
what
but
the
she's
hell?
talented.
I am talented. Yeah, I don't need wings to fly because I'm cool.
Cool like that. Hell yeah.
Even without wings, I can still fly.
Sorry, fucking Sonic Riders. Anywho, yes, they burst out of containment, and Dr. Coomer helps them get back to their ship, and we're escaping. So we're flying away, but oh no, the door's closing, the CIA is getting close. Okay, they get through the door though, but we gotta make the intraspace teleporter work.
So it works.
Well, I mean, Tekno is
Tekno's
also a
just a
genius
genius.
scientist, so...
Tekno helps, but we have to make it work, so we made it work.
Well, so they implied before that, he only needed a couple, bits of data to make it work, so...
Yeah, fair.
Because they're natively from that other dimension, I could say that
they
would
can.
be...
Fair enough.
And just in the nick of time, yes, it works. They escape through it back to Mobius. And the doc also smartly deletes all of the work that Tekno did, so they can't use it again.
Smart.
And
That's very
then...
good. I hope the spaceship they left behind won't be used for anything nefarious.
Oh, that's right.
Interesting.
They left behind a spaceship.
Well, frankly, I'm just worried that this scientist is going to get unpersoned by the state.
That's true. They might
Oh,
just
I mean, that's
put him in a shallow grave.
I'm trying to remember if he appears after this, because there will be more Earth stuff. That should be obvious.
Oh, so they might have actually just dumped
Oh.
him in the fucking channel.
The River Thames, yeah.
gosh.
Jeez.
I don't know that they did that. I don't think that they ever say anything like that. But, yeah. So, Amy and Tekno are happy to be home. We reconnect with Johnny after all that. But, yeah, as usual, a slightly abrupt conclusion, but...
Yeah.
This kind of story gets your mind racing, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it definitely makes you start thinking, holy crap, there's some interesting things.
Yeah, and I mean, it's Earth. You can't put that genie back in the bottle.
Yeah.
So, good on you guys. I hope the next story is just as interesting.
Oh, I mean, they've got good momentum going, right?
Yeah.
Let's look here at...
with through lines and all that.
Let's look here at Spooked, Stringer and Pritchett. Amy and Tekno investigate a supposed haunted house, but the truth is a lot more boring than you'd hope.
Yeah.
We're in Old Hill Zone. I'm gonna give that a 3 out of 10. That's stupid.
That would just be a
Terrible name.
different Green Hill Zone in a game.
Yeah. There's a haunted house. Oh no. Amy and Tekno are on the case, I guess.
Spoopy. It's spoopy.
Everybody's like, oh no, this house is so scary, you need to help us. And this joke is so dumb, where they say, I'm not taking any chances. I'm hanging carrots around my door to keep away vampires. Shouldn't that be garlic? Not at today's prices.
Garlic's not that fucking expensive.
But this was 1990 something or other. Maybe it was in Britain. I don't know.
You know, I really somehow doubt it was.
It doesn't feel like it would be, but you never know.
I guess, yeah.
Wario has fallen on hard times.
Damn. No, well, that's why it's so expensive. Wario bought all of it.
Oh, of course. Oh, I'm sorry. It wouldn't have been Wario buying it. It would have been the Warxio brothers.
Oh, yeah, that's right, of course.
Yes.
So anyway, we go to investigate the haunted house, and... Oh no, it's dangerous! There's a falling gargoyle! Oh, it's fine.
For some reason, the Amy and Tekno go back and forth with like puns as they're exploring the mansion. I don't know why.
I think the writers were just trying to pad this out to 5 pages.
It's because Lou Stringer likes puns. A lot of his stories end on bad jokes.
I'm going to be honest, I prefer my answer better.
Yeah, well, you need to fill page space with this one because, oh no, falling gargoyle. Gargoyle has nothing to do with anything.
Yeah.
And now we have, oh no, some sort of tortured wailing coming from upstairs. Oh my gosh. And they look through the door and they say, oh no, this is worse than a ghost. It's our friend Fabian Vane.
See, this was still continuing the through line. There's still continuity. This character was relevant again. Really? I didn't expect that.
Of all characters, this jabroni.
His bad singing has been tearing the house apart.
Good. I hope it crumbles.
I don't know how that works.
It wasn't the house's fault. And yeah, I guess that's why the gargoyle fell, but...
yeah. Well, yeah, the structural integrity is fucked.
But not for nothing. If it really is all his singing, that's kind of impressive, because the house really is torn apart. It is collapsing in on itself.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean...
I'm just saying, it was clearly... They said it was like an unused house, so it was already in bad shape. Yeah, it's definitely their bad singing as well, but I think this is indicative of the fact that this is the only kind of place that they could find for a home.
Probably if it wasn't him, it was going to be something else. But yes, Amy and Tekno get Vane out of there because they're good people, even though I definitely wouldn't.
No, you just turn around and act like you never saw anything.
Yeah, you do the nonchalant whistle. So the house is now nothing but rubble, and I have no comment on that. I wish you were Amy and Tekno fighting actual ghosts.
That would have been more interesting.
That is the thing. Is Tekno throughout this story is like, oh, it can't be a ghost. There must be a scientific explanation. Don't send Tekno to Sandopolis. There are ghosts there.
Oh yeah, there are just ghosts there.
I know. I'd love to see that. I'd love to see them have like a Mulder and Scully thing going on.
I mean, it would be funny, but I'm just saying it's ironic. There are actual ghosts in this comic, yet they're like, no, it can't be a ghost.
Yeah. Well, same deal, because the next comic is like, oh, we fought actual aliens, but no, that couldn't be a UFO in the sky.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm spoiling a bit. Let's look here at High in the Sky, Stringer and Flint. When Norris Wimple, oh god, seemingly spots a UFO,
Lord.
A target is painted on his back, and Amy and Tekno have to keep him safe. It's Norris. It's our friend Norris, everybody.
Friend's definitely a word.
Amy and Tekno are sitting in these really weird circular chairs. Like, did Tekno remodel or something?
I don't know where this is. Is this the Emerald Hill base?
It looks kind of like it's inside of a tree.
Maybe it is. Yeah, it is rotund. I've seen these kind of chairs somewhere where they hang from the ceiling and they're like padded spheres, but I don't remember where.
Oh, I've seen the padded spheres before, but they're on a swivel on the ground. I think it's a very common part of the mod look from like the 60s in the UK.
Well, now I'm thinking of like, isn't there a chair like that in Men in Black?
I haven't seen Men in Black in so long.
I know, that's the thing, is I don't know if I'm remembering something else. Anyway, none of this matters. I don't know why we're talking about chairs.
Because it's more interesting than what's actually going on.
Yeah, Norris is like, I've spotted an actual UFO. It's true. It's got to be true. I will develop the photo and show everyone.
The news is going crazy over this, even though he hasn't even proven anything.
Yeah, you encountered a real UFO, bud.
Why do they listen to this guy?
Yeah.
You know, he might as well be
Low
Harry
news,
the Crackhead who lives in the basement.
Harry the Crackhead.
No sane individual should consider the possibility that this is anything interesting. But, of course, an insane group of people see this broadcast. Our good friends, the cult of Robotnik here, are like, what? A UFO sighting? Wait, that could be a
Robotnik plan.
Just because there's any chance at all, we have to stop him.
Amazing.
Incredible.
You just see a thing that somebody says is suspicious, and you assume it's Robotnik, and it's funny because these guys do that and they're wrong. But if Sonic did that, it would be.
That's true. Yeah.
So they follow Norris. He appears to be stepping in dog shit in this panel, and they kidnap him off the street. And so just before Amy and Tekno catch up, it's where they give they're running after a moving vehicle, which I don't think that everybody can run as fast as a moving truck, but they're chasing after it anyway. But
yeah, maybe it's just a really shitty truck.
They have to defend themselves with frisbees? What are these things?
I don't know. These are very strange.
Yeah.
Bunch of colorful discs that
I thought they were explosive.
fly around.
I don't think they ever actually blow up.
No, they do.
Do they?
Yeah, because they fire the discs at them, Amy shoots at them with the crossbow, Tekno catches one in a net, reprograms them, and makes them fly back at him.
Yeah, okay, I see that, yeah.
Yeah, apparently, like, one of the discs, the one in front, leads all of them, and so if you just redirect one, then they all just follow all of them. I guess Robotnik would be proud to have an invention with such an exploitable flaw.
Yeah. So they blow up the van, and the cult of Robotnik is like, I think that's, I don't know if that's Whip or whoever on the ground, like, crying about the missing van. You can see him in the back as they're dragging Norris away. No cops here. This is another case of villains that are routinely problems but not arrested.
Yeah, this one is... I can't think of a very good excuse this time. It's pretty egregious.
But Norris is safe, and we finally develop his photo and learn that it's Tails.
Wow.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. And Amy's like, Tails? And you mistook it for a UFO? And, you know, it's a very good picture of Tails. And then he says, yeah, I think I need to clean my glasses. So, yeah, this is a real nothing ever happens moment, I guess.
Yeah.
Even though we've already met aliens. I guess it's that we've never met native aliens, only aliens in the alternate dimension where Earth is real.
Right, there are no aliens in this dimension.
That we know of.
I mean, I'm not saying that definitively.
Yeah, that'd be hilarious. You know, it's like we end on, you know, a pair of duds after a lot of decent build up with the first few stories this week. And then, like, maybe next week the first story is like, oh my god, the Zorda, the Metarex, and the Black Arms are all invading at once, or something.
Gosh. Yeah, some of these are pretty meh. I didn't hate this story in particular, though, because it might be the best, other than the first one, for the Cult of Robotnik, just because I like their idea of freaking out over nothing. That's, like, perfect for them.
Yeah, I do like seeing them as hysterics, definitely.
Yeah, that's fun.
But this is definitely an episode that peaked in the middle with all of the space adventures.
True.
And overwhelmingly, as the Amy and Tekno comics are going on, those are going to be the best kind of stories they do. But, you know, it's always fun, seeing them flex their creative muscles doing something bizarre, and it certainly was bizarre.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm still excited to see them more, and there will be more next week, but
yeah.
For right now, that is where we're going to end off for tonight. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you to our viewers for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And if you have any questions, comments, criticisms, suggestions, or feedback, you can reach us at any of the links in the link tree in the description. We will see you next week with another episode. I hope you have a great rest of your week. I hope you have a great rest of your night. And take care.